Hello folks, today we are out at Silver Lake in Perry, New York. This is the location that I actually fished last year, but I didn't have so much luck last year. I don't think my arsenal for this lake was quite the way it should have been. I didn't have a lot for fishing around cover, and as you guys can probably see, if I turn my kayak here, there is a lot of grass, a lot of plant life, which is good for the fish, but it wasn't good for the lures I had with me last year. But now we got a lot more in our arsenal, a lot more weedless setups, and I'm hoping that we're gonna have some good results today. So Silver Lake isn't a huge lake, but it does have a very healthy bass population. They actually hosted a kayak fishing tournament here last year. I think there was around 50 boats in it. I didn't take part in it, but I was actually at the park the day that it happened. So getting in and out of the launch was a little tricky. But it was neat to see because I've actually never been out on the lake while there was one going on before. So it was really cool seeing everybody's setups. A lot of variety in kayak fishing, which I think is one of the attractive draws to it. Everybody has their own idea about how they want to have their setup. A lot of different companies making boats for it these days. I am rocking the Vibe Yellowfin 100 that doesn't have a pedal drive. And I think if I was to join in on a kayak fishing tournament, it would probably be at a lake like this. It would definitely afford me more opportunities, and I would miss out on a lot less that I would miss out on a bigger lake with people having the motors and stuff. Definitely more accessible for a pedalless kayak fisherman like myself. One of these days I'm gonna do it. There's actually one later in the year, I think at Glenwood Lake. It does say Glenwood Lake, but there is multiple Glenwood Lakes in New York. So I got to take a closer look at that. But that might be a possibility of something we would do because Glenwood we're familiar with. We've fished there, we've caught some smallmouth, albeit small ones. But that would at least be something fun to try. But today, my goal is to get a little bit better at fishing around docks. Because I'm going to be honest right now, I've only fished around a couple of docks while I've been out on a kayak in my entire life. I've always been nervous about it, about losing control of the boat, slamming into the docks. You know, I don't want to damage people's property, and I always had felt that it was a difficult situation from a kayak especially. Now that they've got all the different drives and everything, you can just back off with the press of a pedal or something like that. But for me with just a normal paddle kayak, I always thought it was going to be a little difficult, but I'm going to try and work on that today. Going to give it a go because it seems like most bass like to hang around docks. When I came here last year, we didn't actually have any luck. I wasn't able to even get a bite. And I saw a number of fish, so I know that they are in here. I'm just going to have to experiment and see what they're really looking for. So this is the crazy thing. It is a Monday. It's not the weekend. There's people out everywhere, and I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Obviously it's a summer. Thought there was going to be some people off, but there's literally people everywhere. This is actually all fairly clear here. Definitely gonna have to come back out here. I'm curious how it is up close to the shore up here though. All right, I think I'm going to warm up a bit. Let's get something out and start tossing. I'm just starting off with a darker colored chatterbait, and we got a little bluegill trailer on it. I think there's even too much, might be too much gunk even for a chatterbait right now. You know, one thing I didn't bring with me today, and I don't know why I didn't bring a frog. Should always bring at least one frog. Might have actually gotten me something today. It's all bait fish over here. This is a good sign. Oh, there's a lot. There is a lot of bait fish. Whoa. I'm starting with the wacky rig right now, but I might transition to a weedless worm if this ends up not working good. Oh, is it caught? Oh, it's caught on everything. Yeah, no, we're going weedless now. Gotta go weedless. It's a perch to my right. Little perch. So there's perch in this lake. That's good to know. So perch color lure should be a good thing. Well, there seems to be the geese hang out of the lake. You know what? We're just gonna not get that close to them, but this is a big open patch. At least much more open than most of the lake is. And I don't know why, but I kind of want to fish it. Yeah, there's nothing that much here. I would be fishing this entire stretch here if it wasn't for the geese. We don't want to hit a geese with a lure. Well, the wind actually started up. It feels nice. I just hope that the lake doesn't start getting too choppy. Alright, it looks like the birds cleared out from over here, so this is where we're going to hang out for a little bit, I think. Well, see, now we're dealing with the wind. Now we are getting pushed to areas we don't want to be. And that, to me, is making dock fishing not as fun. But what can you do? The geese are all staying out of the water for the time being. If they can keep that up. Whoa. I like being able to spend more time actively fishing than I am repositioning. That's something that I try to always set up so it's easier for me to do, but any bit of wind at all and I'm at the wind's mercy. Alright, we are traversing back to the other side of the lake now. The wind is kicked up. It was not supposed to do that, but the wind is kicked up. We're being thrown into the docks. I think the other side's gonna end up being a little bit better. Whoa. Let's give it a go. I got a shaky head on right now. I got a artificial worm on a shaky head. Oh my gosh, I can see the ground. The ground is actually visible in this patch. That is a first today. Is that a bass on a bed? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That is a fish, and I think it's a bass on a bed. That's fish. Yes! Oh my gosh! Yes! Oh my gosh. Whoo! We finally caught a fish on Silver Lake. And it was on a chatterbait, natural colored chatterbait. Whoo! Oh man, he inhaled it. Absolutely inhaled it. Oh my gosh. Guys, for us, that's a giant. That is a big fish. He's a little thin. He's a little thin, but he is a pretty good sized fish. Oh my gosh. Look at the mouth. That's what I was after. Well, I guess we know what we're throwing the rest of the day where we can. Calm down. Shut the mouth. It's a 17. 17-inch bass. All right, folks, one last look. I'm assuming it's a male because of how thin it was. Could be a female post-spawn, I don't know. But that's a pretty nice fish. 17-inch. Off they go. Whew. Whew. That was exciting. That was exciting. We finally got a Silver Lake bass. That was a nice length. That's why I go kayak fishing, is to fish like that right there. All right, I think we're ready to pick up and move to the next area, but I wanted to keep fishing for at least a little bit longer in case there was a school that moved into the area. Not what we were after, but it's a fish. I thought for a second he had grabbed it. It's not even a big one. Boy, this little guy went for it. He really went for it. There's a school of Rockies down there, I know that. All right, we've definitely approached the area where the bass are hanging out. I just saw another 17 or an 18 go under my kayak. This stretch of docks along here is definitely better than what we've been dealing with. It's not perfect, but it's given me the option of throwing a couple different things. So I'm not just throwing the weightless worm. I'm able to throw a chatterbait, stuff like that. Maybe even a spinner if there's enough room. Oh, dang it. I think that might have been a fish. Oh, crap. Got one. Got one. Come on. No. At least I got one to bite. Oh, guys, that hurt. It looked like it was going to be a decent one too. I've never actually caught a bass or even really had a bite on a regular bass jig. Bladed jigs, sure, but never a regular jig, and we just lost what would have been the first one. That was probably all my fault. I don't think I reeled hard enough. Don't think I kept enough pressure on him. I'm getting discouraged. I'm happy we caught the one fish, but geez, I thought we were gonna do a little bit better than that. At least I've been seeing fish. I know they're around. The only issue is I have seen a lot of dead fish too. Not bass. I haven't seen any dead bass. I've seen a lot of dead bluegill. Seen a lot of dead perch. Oh, these are kind of cool. All right, I think we're gonna start heading back, and we're gonna fish a few spots on the way back. It's already close to 5 o'clock, I think. We've been on the water for over 5 hours. We've got the one nice largemouth and 2 smaller rock bass. I definitely haven't 100% figured the lake out, but at least I was able to make something happen. I've been throwing mostly a jig today. I think the bait that I've thrown the most is a jig. And then I've also been throwing a bladed jig with the chatterbait. So those have been my my 2 main baits for today in fairly realistic natural colors. Because the water is actually fairly clear. With all this cover and everything, the water is actually fairly clear. It doesn't have too much of a greenish tint. I mean, the visibility, I'm looking down. With my glasses, I'm able to see down, you know, about 6 to 8 feet. It's beautiful. I can't believe the amount of bait fish in here. That's a bass. That's a bass. I don't think I've ever really successfully done that, where I've seen a bass and then been able to target it and bring it in, as far as from a boat like this, just see him swimming by. I got close when we were over on Hemlock Lake. I had that one bass cruise under me, and I kind of I angled my crankbait more towards where he was. I'd already cast, but he ended up running right at the crankbait. Well, I probably should have covered ground quicker. I'm looking back now. It looks like I really didn't go that far as this side of the lake. The longest trip was going to the other side of the lake, which I don't think I will ever do again, because that side of the lake had a lot more greenery. At least here I was able to throw stuff. Over there it was almost totally unfishable. At least for me. I am not a heavy cover fishing kind of guy. I just went over a school of sunfish and perch that had to be about 1,000 strong. All right, folks, that does it for fishing today. We ended up with that one largemouth and 2 little rockies that we caught in quick succession. They seemed to like the worm. I think really I had the bite right today. I think it was definitely a jig bite, and I just didn't get on the bass. I got that one off of the bladed jig, early on, and then later on we missed that one on a regular bass jig, and it was a little bit disheartening, but you know what, at least we got the one bass, and it was a good one. That was a solid bass, and I'm happy. That was actually the biggest largemouth I've caught this year. But at any rate, we're going to be traveling to either Canisius Lake or to the Erie Canal for the next kayaking adventure. I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm trying to go to new places, but I'd also like to try and get on a lot of bass all at once. And honestly, the canal has seemed like it's had a lot of fish in it this year. So we may have to keep going with that. But at any rate, I want to thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you all take care.